but let's talk foraging in the snow. I recently saw a post on social media where a man in Canada was asking when it's snowing and it's really harsh winters, is there anything to forage? Obviously, if snow's on the ground, this is going to create a problem with finding roots. Our next best runner up to roots is the barks of edible trees. I'm going to show you today a couple trees that can be used medically and also edibly to give you some nutrients and vitamins to keep you going until you are able to hunt and trap some protein. First on our list is going to be white ash. Unfortunately, the white ash tree is endangered due to the ash borer bug. However, this is a very common tree throughout the United States, Canada, and even Mexico. Ash is considered an edible tree. Of course, in the springtime, the leaves have been used throughout the centuries as a medical herb, but they are also very edible and have a very sweet taste. The inner bark has long been used by many cultures to treat dysphoria. So the inner bark definitely has some medical properties. Now, not much is known about ash as far as study-wise, so it is advised that you don't consume too much. Of course, it could possibly be toxic. This is an excellent tree to give you a little bit of vitamins, a little bit of nutrients, while it is that you're trying to hunt or trap or get some sort of protein source. As with most trees, it is the inner bark that we are looking for. Let's get to work. Now, if I was harvesting for cordage, I would be a lot more precise on my cutting method. All we did basically was cut away from the main bark, okay, which has all this lichen on it. So we cut away from the main bark, and this real pale bark that you see is what we want. Because I'm using this small hatchet, I'm basically going to chip away shavings. Depending on the tools you're using, depends on how difficult this process can be. So now I could take, which of course I'm going to need a lot more than this, but these tiny little shavings here. Now, if you're able to get it in a whole strip, of course that's better. This is a really common way of getting bark for cordage as well. But all I'm going to do is take these tiny little shreds and I will add them to some water. Then I can either consume the bark itself or drink the water that it has been cooking in. Tree bark is excellent to keep some sort of vitamins and minerals in your system. I wouldn't go as far as to say it would sustain you, because obviously in these climates, in these conditions, you really need protein. Let's move on to our second tree. On my hike to the next tree, I stumbled upon some black walnuts. Obviously, black walnuts are edible. I also started noticing a lot of animal tracks, such as deer, coon, and possum. If this was a true survival situation, this would make me very happy, as it is proof there is plenty of game in the area. Today was a beautiful way to spend the solstice. So the next tree I want to talk about is the cedar tree. Cedar is very common throughout the United States and Canada. On the east, where I am located, we have the eastern red cedar, and out west they have the western red cedar. Both are referred to as juniper trees. Now, the eastern red cedar produces tiny bluish berries in late fall that we often use for a foraging spice. This tree is also very beneficial medically. It helps with reducing phlegm and chest infections. One of the ways that cedar can help benefit you in a survival situation is by giving you vitamin C. Like most evergreens, cedar is very high in vitamin C. Vitamin C can give you that extra boost of energy you may need to get to your destination or to continue your hunt. Only a few small branches are what you really need for a tea. Cedar can be toxic if consumed in large amounts. I would start with a small tiny bit and only use cedar for a few days before switching to some other source of vitamin C. Now, as I said in the beginning, this is not going to sustain you. This is only going to give you a little bit of vitamins and nutrients to finish your pursuit or get to your destination in certain survival situations. Now, if you're an active forager and you enjoy doing this, of course, this can also be done for fun. Make sure that with any plant, you are 100% positive of its identification before you ingest it. As with any survival situation, obviously each encounter is going to be different. Your environment, the tools you have, the plants that are available to you. Make sure you always utilize your environment to its fullest potential and stay wild, everyone. For more survival knowledge, like and subscribe.